Good evening, everyone. I'm Ron Lighthall with Space Coast Daily TV with a very special presentation tonight of the City of Coco's Candidate Forum. Tonight's host for this evening's festivities will be Space Coast TV's own Giles Malone, and with the Coco Village Neighborhood Coalition, Ed Green. Giles, take it away.
Thank you very much, Ron Lighthall, and it's a pleasure to be with you tonight. I'm Giles Malone with Space Coast Daily TV, and it's a real distinct honor for us tonight at Space Coast Daily to be participating in the process of this great democracy that we live in, and we're very proud to be hosting this event today with the Coco Village Neighborhood Coalition, and we would like to thank in particular the people who've made this possible with us. Ed Green. I'd like to thank you, Ed, for joining us tonight from the Coco Village Neighborhood Coalition. Marilyn Green, who couldn't be with us tonight. And we would like to thank also a special thank you to the Executive Director of the Coco Village Neighborhood Coalition, Candice Rogers, who's here tonight, as well as her husband, Don Rogers, who's sitting over there, who'll be our official timekeeper for tonight. So I want to thank those folks for making this possible. And I want to thank all of our team at Space Coast Daily for putting a lot of work in to make this broadcast possible and really allow you to get to know your candidates who are running for office in the wonderful city of Coco, Florida. So the way this is going to work, tonight our first round is with the council candidates who are running for Districts 2 and Districts 3. And unfortunately, one of our candidates couldn't be with us tonight, Lavanda Hearn. Actually, we got a message from his representative earlier today that he is with the Brevard County EMS department, and he has a quarantine at the moment because he may have been exposed to a person with COVID virus, so he's under a quarantine and couldn't be with us tonight. We did extend an offer to have him call in by telephone, but that was not accepted. So tonight we will have representatives from District 3 to my left, Rip Dial, and to in the middle, Jennifer Jenkins, who are both vying for the seat for District 3. Jennifer Kenny, I'm sorry. And then to my right, Stephanie Moretto, who is here representing candidacy for District 2. And Lavanda Hearn, of course, couldn't be with us tonight, unfortunately. So the way this is going to work tonight is we're going to start with an opening statement from each candidate, 1 minute. And they'll go through their opening statements. And when they're finished with those, we're going to start with some questions, which the Coco Village Neighborhood Coalition curated all the questions from people in the community. And we're going to be asking the questions verbatim from you, the voters in Coco. So listen to maybe some of your questions will be asked of these fantastic candidates tonight. You will have an opportunity to participate yourself. You're welcome to comment on Space Coast Daily. All comments are asked to be appropriate. If they're inappropriate, they'll be taken down immediately. And civility is what we expect here at Space Coast Daily. We would like to thank all of our team back in the office at Space Coast Daily who will be creating those comments as we move forward. So just a few little rules for the folks here tonight. Don Rogers over there has a yellow card. At 45 seconds, the yellow card will go up, and at 1 minute, the red card will go up. And we'd like to try to keep to those times as much as possible. So there it is. Do we have any questions from any of the candidates? All clear?
All clear.
All right. So we're going to start with Rip Dial, your 1 minute opening statement, sir.
My name is Rip Dial. Most of my life I've lived in zip code 32926. I am an honorable discharge NCO from the United States Air Force. When I got back here to Coco, I was a bricklayer, and I also owned a lot of salvage up in Titusville, Florida. And since I've kind of retired, I went ahead and started volunteering for the city of Coco. The first canine competition, I built all the obstacles for and ran the field. And I also did as well as a second. The third one has been canceled because of COVID-19. I've also am the VCOP coordinator for the city of Coco. And with all the volunteer work that I have done, I'm 2018 Volunteer of the Year for the city of Coco, and I'm also 2019 VCOP of the Year for the city of Coco. I currently live in District 3 off of Westminster Road, and I'm one of 4 generations that have graduated from Coco High School. And I plan to work as hard for the citizens in District 3 and Coco as I have with my volunteer work.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dial. Jennifer, you're next.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Jennifer Kenny. I'm a candidate for the City of Coco, District Council 3. So I have lived here for 4 years. I chose to live in Coco because it is really the center of Brevard County, with Orlando to our west, which is where I had been working and continue to work until the 24th of this month. I'll be getting ready to retire, and the rest of my family lives down in southern Brevard. So Coco was just a nice place in the middle for me to land, and I found Coco on a map. I was working in New England at the time. I had lived further south in Brevard County myself before going to New England on work assignment, and I was just delighted when I found it. It's I love the village. Anybody who comes to visit us, I take them there, you know, because we have a built-in tourist attraction. However, I do go to Coco City Council meetings, and I do see the need for some fresh perspective. Ground zero. Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jennifer. Opening statement from Stephanie Moretto.
Hello, thank you for having me. My name is Stephanie Moretto, representing for District 2 City Council. I have lived in my district for almost 15 years. I moved here in 2006 when I bought my home, and I truly fell in love with the area as well. My district is actually the heart of the city of Coco. My husband and I, we've been there and married for almost 15 years as well this October. I am a wife, mother, small business owner, and I too wanted to step up for District 2 to get involved because I believe my positive leadership and enthusiasm for the area will benefit the city of Coco.
Thank you very much indeed. All right, first question will go to Stephanie to my right. There is a growing amount of vacant commercial property both in the village and city-wide. What can be done about it?
I would like to see it developed for either small businesses to bring more traffic to the city of Coco. Anything that brings, you know, more revenue to the city, I think is a benefit for everyone. Everyone that lives there, travels there, or visits there as a tourist.
Okay, same question to Jennifer. There's a growing amount of vacant commercial property both in the village and citywide. What can be done about it?
I think it depends on the condition of the vacant property. I think that if it needs to be torn down, repurposed, and that should be a priority. I think that the code enforcement should be involved in that. I also, like Stephanie, I think that we need to bring more businesses to the city of Coco. I would like to see some higher paying businesses. I think that will help everybody, raise everybody up, and also any training opportunities that we could bring. And we do have vacant buildings at US 1, perfect example. It's almost a blight, some of it, so I'm all for redevelopment.
Rip Dial, there's a growing amount of vacant commercial property both in the village and citywide. What can be done about it?
Well, one of the things we can look at is trying to get local individuals to go ahead, have an idea, and get a business to get it started. In the city of Coco, we have a program for first-time buyers. Well, I was talking to our economic director about that the other day, and she said that was a great idea, and they are looking at grants and other ways to get local people with a good plan to start up and get their own business. Also, when we start getting the newer houses that's going to be built in several subdivisions out here in West Coco and other places, that's going to give us more rooftops. That's going to give us more opportunities for big chains and big businesses to come in here. We got the growth area on 524 corridor in Grissom Road. So there's plenty of room to put plenty of big businesses, and we get the big businesses in here, then the little businesses, the vacant buildings will start being occupied.
Thank you. This question now goes to Rip. How will you address drainage and flooding issues across the city?
They've been working real hard with the stormwater runoff plan. We do have some serious flooding issues. My neighborhood, for one of them, I do get water up to my mailbox into my driveway when we have bad storms. And we just got to understand how the environment has to be protected so we don't get water that's adulterated with other chemical stuff into our rivers, both at St. John's and the Indian River. And it's going to take time. There's been a lot of studies. The Sustainability Committee has been working real hard to figure these things out. We've got engineers working on it, and our Public Works understands, and they've been real hard trying to clear ditches and get the water to flow in the proper direction so we don't have flood like we did out there at Coventry 2 weeks ago.
Thank you, Rip. Same question, Jennifer. How will you address drainage and flooding across the city?
Well, I actually do believe that I would agree with Rip what he said about the Coco City Council has actually been working very diligently on a stormwater master plan, and I think that that's a great start. This isn't something that just happened. This is a problem not just in Coco, but it's actually regional, which most of any situation that's happening in Coco absolutely is regional as well. So I would look to see what they're doing in other areas, and I would try to perhaps model some of that. And that's my answer. Thank you.
Okay. Stephanie, how will you address flooding and drainage issues across the city?
I agree. Our city definitely has some challenges when it comes to that, and I would want to talk to more experts and engineers to find out what are some better ways to make our community better and to resolve that issue, because like Dave said, it has been going on for quite a while.
Okay. I'm going to go back to you now, Stephanie, with this next question. If elected, what would your top 3 priorities be?
Reducing the crime in my district with measurable results, bringing small businesses into the District 2, and getting more community involvement, the residents and homeowners in that neighborhood to be more a part of the things that go on in the City of Coco, excuse me.
Okay, thank you. Jennifer, if elected, what would your top 3 priorities be?
Definitely economic development, bring in businesses that offer training so that we can educate our workforce, that we can have people who will stay in Coco then because they can make a decent living here and they can purchase houses. So all that ties in with economic development. Definitely smart growth, which includes our parks, our green spaces, sidewalks, and public safety is just really a priority for me. You know, as I live in a condo community where we're an aging group, and I see my neighbors are afraid to, go out in the evenings, and I actually had a car stolen twice before I paid my first mortgage when I moved here 4 years ago. Thank you.
Interesting. Rip, same to you. If elected, what would your top 3 priorities be?
Getting new businesses in here, make a more strong economical impact, also take care of the environment. But it comes down to safety and crime. One of the things that a lot of people don't understand, like you have the homeless, and when a police officer goes out and Baker acts them, when they go to the hospital and 3 days are let out and nobody follows up, the police department's trying to work on a grant to get the money to go ahead and hire mental health practitioners so they can go ahead and follow up with the homeless and the people that go be Baker acted, because they're just released on the street with with nobody checking on them. And that would solve a lot of problems, because when you approach them, you don't know if you're going to be a happy person, a bad person, or you get hurt, or somebody else will get hurt or hurt themselves. So the safety and the crime in the city of Coco can be addressed in community policing and the mental health practitioners.
Thank you, sir. This one goes now to you, Rip. City of Coco Police Department has one of the lowest salary ranges for the state of Florida. Therefore, it is extremely difficult to recruit and maintain good officers. If elected, how would you change this?
We need to definitely make our officers pay equal to at least Brevard County Sheriff's Department. They're the ones who basically recruit from us the fastest. Right now, we've had 15 officers resign to go to different agencies, Brevard County, Titusville, and Melbourne. It takes, when a new officer gets in there, it takes about $100,000 for 3 years to train them. And so 15 officers, that's $1.5 million. And then we have to retrain the next group to replace them. And it's a complete circle. Right now, 44% of our officers in the city of Coco are only setting at 2 years experience or less. So mistakes will be made, and we don't want that. We have great officers and great sergeants in the police department to keep everything in a steady flow, good training. But if you're going to go ahead and raise the officers $5,000, that would be $500,000 of the $1.5 million it costs to train them.
Now, Rip's opponent, Jennifer Kenny, same question. City of Coco Police Department has one of the lowest salary ranges for the state of Florida. Therefore, it's extremely difficult to recruit and maintain and keep good officers. If elected, how would you change this?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that that's just a crying shame. For a city our size, we're a nice small city, we should be able to afford to pay people and pay them well. A police officer's job is probably right up there with firefighters, one of the most dangerous jobs you could ever sign up for. So I would say that we were going to have to take a serious look at our budget. There might be someplace else where we could cut some fat out, and we could pay our officers what they're worth. I'm also in favor of increased training for people to make them feel more comfortable with their jobs so that they will stay in Coco. I mean, I think that's the goal, to have people live and work and stay in Coco, raise families, raise us all up. Thank you.
Thank you. Stephanie Moretto, candidate for District 2. Same question. City of Coco Police Department has one of the lowest salary ranges for the state. Therefore, it's extremely difficult to keep and recruit officers. If elected, how would you change this?
I definitely would want to increase their pay to be competitive with the other areas. The city of Coco, their pay is, to be quite frank, is ridiculous for the amount of crime that we have, especially in my district too. I would want to raise their pay because other agencies look for our officers and recruit them continuously. Why the statistics Rip was giving as far as other police officers leaving the area. So I would like to have competitive wages so that the police officers stay and they feel invested to stay as well, and to add development training, sensitivity training, maybe add some mental health training, because we do have an issue with that here in this county as well. And I feel that would be better suited for the city as well, because if you can't reduce the crime, nobody's moving to the city, nobody's investing in the city, businesses do not want to stay in the city.
Thank you very much. Giving our candidates a brief break while we get ready for the next question for Stephanie. I want to thank Ed Green here, who's been very instrumental in putting this together. Ed Green is with the Coco Village Neighborhood Coalition. Tell us a little about your organization, Ed.
Well, thanks, Giles. The Coco Village Neighborhood Coalition is kind of an informal network of, it started in 2017 with a small group of neighbors who understood that there was a need to find a way for people within the village who had concerns about the village and its future and its development, find a way for them to connect better with the city government. We didn't feel like we were necessarily being heard, and we didn't see a channel for people to communicate directly with government. So we organized to get people out, get people informed, get people concerned, get people engaged, and have a voice so that the city could listen to what we had to say. We went beyond just the boundaries of the village because we understand that what happens in the village affects the city, and what happens in the city affects the village. It's all commingled. It all is one big city that really counts on every part to function well, so that we can all have a better situation. So we grew little by little. We were very informal. We started by having a Facebook group, which is our main means of communicating, of getting people involved. As of this morning, I checked, we have 581 members who have signed up. We try to keep people informed of what's going on in today's world. Journalism has changed. We don't have local newspapers like we used to. We do have Space Coast Daily as a good alternative for people, but it's hard for a small group like that to get a reporter out to every event, to cover every city meeting and so forth. So we do our best to let people know what's going on, when there's something going on at City Council that they might want to be engaged in, learn about, know more about, and we have grown on that basis. Some of the things that we've been involved with, this is our second candidate forum, and thanks to you, Giles, and thanks to your organization, thanks to Space Coast Daily and Space Coast TV, we're able to have this. We started organizing this about a year ago almost, and our hope was to have another live event at the library like we had last time with about 100 attendees, COVID being what it is, and large groups not being able to get together. We found your offer to sponsor with us, a wonderful alternative, so we're hoping that we can get a lot of people involved, engaged, know what's going on. Some of the things that we've done over the years, we've been involved in the rebirth of Lee Winter Park. We've been an advocate for that. We've advocated for the pedestrian walkway that goes under 520. We've done a lot of work on the waterfront master plan. We've engaged people in that. We've asked the city, and the city has come around and set up a way for people to participate and give input to the master plan as it develops. We've done a paint the town effort where we've gone down to the center of the village and helped paint out lampposts and fences and things that needed some attention, help spruce it up. We participated in Trash Bash, this candidate forum. So in these strange COVID times, we still try to get things done. We still try to be as nonpartisan as we can, as open as we can be, and we invite everybody that has an interest in Coco, who lives in Coco, who works in Coco, who has a business in Coco, to join us. Thanks, Giles.
Thank you, Ed. I've been most impressed with the Coco Village Neighborhood Coalition. Really concerned citizens, and they want the best for their community. Thank you very much indeed to all of you there. All right, this question now is for Stephanie, getting back at it. Recently, Stephanie, there was a lot of discussion about how the hiring of the city manager was handled by several of the city council members. As an elected official, do you think it is acceptable to put your personal preferences before the best interests of the city? And should the council person exhibiting this behavior be counseled or held accountable?
I do believe that your personal opinions or views are part of who make you up. So if it goes against your values, you're going to take that into consideration for your decision makings. I'm not exactly sure to what incident or exactly what you're referring to, but from what I understood, the process for the city manager was done as fairly as possible. And that would be my answer.
Thank you. Once again, these questions are actually from the public. These were curated from all of the questions submitted over, 50, 60 questions submitted. And so these are just a sample of them. Would you like me to repeat the question?
I think I have it, but I want to say that I really hadn't heard this rumor that somebody had interjected their own personal opinions in an inappropriate way. I was actually at the community where it was the 3 finalists. I attended that at City Hall, and it didn't seem to me that anybody was inappropriate. So I don't really know the situation. I would say this, that the City Council needs to act as one. However anybody feels about anything personally, the council needs to act as one at the end of the day. Once a majority reaches the decision, the council has to just be together on that. Identify any conflicts that one person may or may not have and just move on as one unit.
Would you like me to repeat the question?
No, sir.
Good.
They had a redo kind of due to the fact that when our acting city manager, Matt, went ahead and withdrew his application to be city manager, they went ahead and opened it back up, which was fair because a lot of people did not put their applications in because they figured since he's already in there as the assistant city manager and acting city manager, he would get the job. Then they went down and Mr. Moffett got his application in, Mr. Witten, I should say. And it was Mr. Moffett, Mr. Witten, and the other person, I can't think of her name at this time. And I was in most of those. I didn't go to the forum, but I was in most of those, and it seemed to be pretty well fair. I think we've got a fantastic city manager coming out in Stockton Witten. I've got 100% confidence in him. And there were some emotions involved in it from the city council, but at the end they pulled together and did a wonderful job and got us a great city manager.
There it is. Next question is for you now, Rip. How will you improve security for the residents and visitors of Coco Village?
The village is a very unique place. It's got businesses, shops in the daytime. It's got, in the evening, you have taverns and restaurants. And you also have the concerts. One of the things that a lot of village individuals seen is the V-Cops down there volunteering their time patrolling. We do have a radio. We are assigned a badge number. If something goes wrong, we call the dispatch, and dispatch will get us every officer that we need down there. The V-Cops aren't carrying weapons, so we're not carrying vests. But I encourage my individuals to work for me, as I'm the director, to go ahead and talk to people. People are lost, give them direction. They know, well, where's a good restaurant? Tell them, just interact with them. And that way they'll feel the security because we do have a polo shirt on or yellow shirt that's got a Coco emblem on it and our, says V-Cop on the back. And with that type of interacting, I know one of my individuals, John Sauter, he's down there all the time, Charlie McGrath, and myself.
Thank you, sir. Same question for you now, Jennifer. How will you improve security for the residents and visitors of Coco Village?
Well, I think that the business owners by now that have evening partying or nightlife going on probably understand the pattern. So if it's Tuesday night, nickel beer, I don't know, I'm just making that up, but whatever the pattern is, they would know, have a gauge on how many people were going to be in town. And I would say that on those nights that they should work with the police department and, if need be, hire private security so that the residents feel safe in their homes.
Okay. Stephanie, how will you improve security for people in Coco Village?
I do believe that with the Vacant program, which is a fantastic program, if we could have more of them walking around, if we had specialty events. Another great thing I think would be that if we had more foot patrols from our Coco police officers during those events and throughout the week as well, so there's more of a presence, I think would help deter anybody from doing anything wrong or committing any crimes down there.
Okay, thank you. Next question for you, Stephanie. What is your plan to control improper vessel moorings, removal of derelict vessels, and pump out verification?
I do believe that anything that brings more, I do like the idea of people able to, park up there to Coco Village and use the new slips and stuff, and actually to be able to park with their anchors a little bit further out if that's what they like as well. Anything to me that it is a boater community on the riverfront, so anything that brings more business attraction for the tourists to stop and visit and enjoy our lovely city, I think would be a benefit.
Okay. Same question, Jennifer. What is your plan to control improper vessel moorings, removal of derelict vessels, and pump out verification?
Well, I would think that that would fall under code enforcement, and I would think that if a derelict vessels were moored, that they should be towed and disposed of. That would be my answer.
Okay, over to you, Rip.
The boats that sink, it's very complicated to get them removed. There's a lot of paperwork involved, and it comes down to the state of Florida doing it, not the local police department or the sheriff. Also, we're going to have to go private partnership with the marina that's next door or somebody else. We had an individual approach the city council saying they would put the mooring field in and monitor it for, to maintain it, which is the best way to do is a private partnership like that. The VCOPs, we are going to have VCOPs trained for the marina, and the police department's going to get proper training. We do have one boat right now, and we do have people that are certified to be on that boat out there to help out. We had one concert, we had 110 boats, and at the end of the evening, one of the sailboats hit the tall power mast and sunk, and we went into action that night very efficiently and very well. The power lines are going to be moved, from my understanding, when they start building the mooring field.
Right on time there, just in time, Rip. All right, next question is for you now, Rip. What is your understanding of your role as a council person as it relates to the city charter?
The charter is the rule book. You must go ahead, and the charter says, as a city council person, if I see something wrong, I do not go correct that employee, I go to the city manager. Also, I need to go ahead as a city councilman to inform my individuals that live in my district, my constituents. And I have already told every one of them, and my word is everything to me, besides this time going out campaigning, I will be walking around for 4 years, knocking on people's door and talking with them and getting their input. And if they got something very unique to say, talking to come on the delegates during the city council meeting, they get their 5 minutes, and that way they can explain it from their perspective of what they are thinking.
Okay. Same question now for you, Jennifer. What is your understanding of your role as a council person as it relates to the city charter?
As it relates to the city charter, I believe that I will be answerable to the city manager as a city council member. I'll also have to answer to my constituents and to make sure, checking with staff to make sure that I am not breaking any rules, and to ensure that my constituents are on the right page, that they're not just have an idea that can't be done, so I can come back to them with true answers.
Okay. Stephanie, over to you. What is your understanding of your role as a council person as it relates to the city charter?
For being a city council person, definitely for following the rules, like living in the district that you're representing, and knowing what your role is in working with all the members of the city of Coco. Forgive me, I'm very nervous. But your role also is to represent your district and to talk to the citizens that live in that district to understand what it is they really want and need, and to figure out how to work with all the agencies or organizations in that district to make it a better place place for everyone that lives there.
Once again, maybe for those who are just joining us, we're here with the candidates for Districts 2 and 3, Rip Dial, Jennifer Kenny, and Stephanie Moretto. Lavanda Hearn could not be with us tonight as we move forward with these questions. Over to you now, Stephanie. Do you have any special projects you hope to bring forward should you be elected?
Yes, actually. I would really like to lean on the business community, like I have done before with putting it together another event, to bring more opportunities for people in District 3 who have that entrepreneur spirit and they want to learn how to be their own successful business owners, how to find clients, how to build a business from start to finish. That would be something that would be near and dear to my heart as well.
Okay. Over to you now, Jennifer. What particular special projects do you hope to bring forward should you be elected?
I would hope to bring some better paying businesses to the city of Coco. Businesses that can offer training, education, continuing education actually, and also one of my special pet peeves, as I've talked about before, is public safety. So I would like to ensure that there's extra training for our police department, and not just for our police officers, but for staff and anybody who works within the system.
Thank you. Over to you, Rip. What special projects do you hope to bring forward should you be chosen?
Attracting big businesses that bring in a lot of employees at high wages. Also, some of the little projects I've been talking about to my people in my district is Junu Martinez Park does have a room for a public pool. Since the YMCA has their pool now closed down, since the YMCA is closed down, our kids have to ride bicycles all the way over south of 520 to Jolie Smith Center, which is absolutely gorgeous. And those kids can't get on a bus because they're not accompanied by an adult. So if we had a pool over in our area where the kids can use it and have the Parks and Recreation keep it open at 9 o'clock during the summer months, so people like me, my wife, after dinner go up there and do laps as exercise, by that time the kids will be at the house. That's very important, and getting 524 4-laned would be very important too.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Going over to you again now, Rip. If the city of Coco received a $1 million grant, how would you decide on how the money is spent?
I think more youth projects. Coco Police Department, we have the PALS program. I'd like to see that expand. We also do partnerships with 3 elementary schools, Endeavor, Saturn, and Emerald Jewel, and to get more programs brought in. Last summer, Coco Community First raised a bunch of money between concerts and the other activities we had, and got special program brought into Endeavor Elementary School, and Endeavor Elementary School went from F to a C+ to a B before coronavirus. So we have to invest in our kids. If we invest in our kids and we get them where they trust the police officers plus other adults and business people in the community, it's going to be a win-win situation. Crime will go down and the individuals will have a much better paying job.
Okay, thank you. If the city of Coco received a $1 million grant, Jennifer, how would you decide on how that money is spent?
I would absolutely have to work with staff on that to see where the greatest need is for our city. And as someone who's not currently working with staff in our city, I'd really have to examine that. I'd really have to look at all there is to know and more informed people. Listen and learn.
Thank you very much, Jennifer. Stephanie, I'm sorry. If the city received a $1 million grant, how would you spend the money?
First of all, it would definitely be to reduce crime in my district. We've had 2 murders in the last 10 days. That's pretty crazy. So I would definitely look into recruiting more police and whatever services we could to eliminate the crime in the area. And then I would get with the city staff to decide what is the most pressing issues that need to be resolved, and then as well reinvest in our kids so they have a better future and be the next generation.
Thank you. I'm interested in this next question. I'm chairman of the Tourism Council of the Space Coast, but Stephanie, how do you intend to help bring back tourism to the village once the cruise ships start running again? Are you willing to work with the HCVMS, the Historic Coco Village Merchant Association, to bring back the tourists?
Absolutely. As a citizen of Coco, I actually enjoy seeing all the tourists come in on their buses before and they walk around our Coco Village area. I would also like to see it expand to the Coco Village and beyond the rest of the city so that the rest of the city also enjoys the benefits of the tourist industry coming into our area.
Okay, let me repeat that one for you, Jennifer. What or how do you intend to help bring back tourism to the village once the cruise ships start running again? Are you willing to work with the historic Coco Village Merchant Association to bring back the tourists?
Absolutely. I'm willing to work with anybody who wants to work to better Coco. I think that's all our goal. I think we're all reaching for the same thing there. I think that we might even could work with the cruise ships to encourage them to bring people over for a day before they bring them back to the airports, wherever they bring them.
Okay, Rip, what do you think? How do you intend to bring back tourism to the village once the cruise ships start running again? And are you willing to work with the HCVMS to bring back the tourists?
Oh yes, definitely. With a lot of the events we have downtown Coco, try to coordinate more with the cruise ships and our concerts. And when we have the special, like we're getting ready to have the craft fair come up, try to have where maybe we might get our own bus and start taking it out to the port and bring people back over to the village. Well, we don't do that now. They have to either drive a taxi cab, an Uber, or go by the county maintained bus. But if we can go ahead and get the individuals excited about the village, they're going to cruise, they come off, they got 48 hours for the airplane, hopefully get to stay in our brand new hotel downtown Coco and enjoy the village for a couple of days because there's so much to offer, plays, restaurants, and it's just walking around the village is very relaxing.
Okay. This is our last direct question before we get into candidate questions of each other. This one goes to you first, Rip. After 10 years, the city has finally redone the public restrooms on Oleander. Unfortunately, vagrants have taken over. How would you address maintaining the public restrooms for our customers?
That's a very difficult problem due to the fact that it's on city property and we just can't go up there as police officers or VCOP and ask them to leave. Once again, it comes down to eventually those individuals get Baker acted, they go to the hospital. When they come out, they have nobody following up or getting them in the right programs and et cetera. That's where the police department's trying to work on getting some mental health practitioners, which would be a very large help with the homeless. And that way we can get them out of the village, get them on the right feet, and get them going the right direction. It's a shame that people have to do what they do, but they're in a situation where they're taking drugs, they're sleeping on the streets, they have no hope. If you give somebody hope and education and focus, that problem will go away.
Okay. Jennifer, after 10 years, the city finally has redone the public restrooms in Oleander. Unfortunately, vagrants have taken over. How would you address maintaining the public restrooms for the citizens?
Oh, geez. Well, I would hate to deny anybody the opportunity to use a restroom. I think that's where my first thought. However, I also understand that we need to be respectful of a public space. And so I think that moving people away from the village and into single resident homes. They're doing something quite similar up in Melbourne. I don't know the long-term benefits of the program, but they're taking homeless people, they're putting them in housing, and then they're providing intense community and social services for these people to ensure that they're getting everything they need to hopefully get on a path. All these people using the restroom, somebody loved them. They were somebody's child one day, and those are the things I think about. But I also know I don't want to use the restroom that's all messed up either.
Yep. Over to you now, Stephanie. After 10 years, the city's finally redone the public restrooms on Oleander. Unfortunately, vagrants have taken over. How would you address maintaining the public restrooms for our citizens?
I would really like to, as far as the homeless, we have a lot of organizations and nonprofits in the city of Coco. In the county. I would like to work with all of them collectively and see if there's something we can come up with to help get more people off the streets, get them into programs and be effective about it. It seems that Coco sometimes becomes the dumping ground for a lot of people homeless or almost encouraged to move into the area. You don't hear these problems in Viera or parts of Mare Island. So I would like to work collectively with everyone in the county and the area to say, okay, that's terrible that this happened. Maybe we can paint it and remodel, do it together. But at the same time, let's fix the problem. That's was the initial problem with the vagrants being there in the first place.
Indeed, very difficult question to solve. It'll be up to the leaders, whoever's chosen to solve it. Now then, that's the end of our questions from the public. We're now going to move on to the section where you'll be able to ask your opponent 2 questions. We're going to have 2 rounds of these questions. Unfortunately, Stephanie's opponent, Lavanda, couldn't be here tonight, but we're still going to give you the opportunity to ask a question of Lavanda, even though he's not here. So, Stephanie, your question for Lavanda first.
Mr. Lavanda, I would ask you that, what have you done recently for the city of Coco, and what volunteering have you done?
Okay. We're going to you now, Jennifer. Your question for Rip.
Well, actually, I hadn't prepared a question for Rip. I'm sorry to say. I was actually going to ask Lavender a question about his employment with the fire department. So that's all I had. I apologize. I apologize, Rip.
Not a problem. Now it's your turn, Rip, to ask someone a question.
Just curiosity, basically the same question Ms. Moretto asked over there. The 4 years you've been here, what type of volunteer work and programs have you been involved in the city of Coco?
Actually, I haven't been involved in any volunteer programs right here in our city. I've been gainfully employed as a business agent with my local union in Orlando, and so that job has taken me on work travel. It's also kept me pretty involved with the unions there. I do, however, attend city council meetings, where I was a very regular attendee before the COVID, but now that I'm coming up on retirement on the 24th of this month, I'll have plenty of time to volunteer. Thank
Gotcha.
you.
Your second question, Stephanie?
I guess my question would be, you've lived here for Ms. Jennifer.
Oh, hi.
Other than city council, you did not find any time to volunteer or do anything else for the city of Coco?
No, actually I haven't. I've been pretty involved with my employer, and I actually have an elderly parent living in my home. So when I haven't been at work, I've been home caring for my parent.
Okay. Jennifer, it's your chance to ask a question of another candidate.
Oh, I know. I'm so sorry. I don't have a question. I really just thought that I would just, meet everybody this evening, and I just want to say that I've enjoyed everybody's comments. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Rip, your chance.
I got a question for Ms. Moretto. Did you enjoy putting together the barbecue and blues for our officers over there at Kiwanis Island?
Yes, I did. I absolutely did do. It was me and 4 other women, and less than a couple weeks' time, we had put together an event that I believe over 400 people attended to that. And that was an excellent event. It really was.
As a volunteer police officer, I thank you very much for
You're welcome.
you all doing that for us.
Absolutely well deserved.
Well, gentlemen. All right. Now, Rip, this is your chance now for your closing statement. We're each going to have a closing statement for 1 minute, and we're going to wrap this thing up.
I'm going to go ahead and start out that I've been working very hard for the city of Coco for the last 3 years. I'm born here. It's in my blood. I can't get rid of it. My family's been here for a long, long time. I've got family members' names on the water treatment plant out there in West Coco. I'm getting so much support from friends in the community, individuals, and also businesses in my district. I have to go ahead and thank West Coco Pharmacy. I have to go ahead and thank Tropic Oil, Coco Auto Salvage, Rouse Roofing. And today at 3 o'clock, I got an endorsement from the Space Coast Association of Realtors in Buffkin Tile. I have to thank all the people that support. I know I forgot a couple of them, but I plan to bust my butt to make sure we go in the right direction, get new businesses in here, get our pay for everybody across the board, public works, firefighters, and police department, where they can have a decent living and they can enjoy it and want to stay in Coco.
Rip Dial, thank you very much for your willingness to serve. Moving on to you now, Jennifer Kenny. Your 1 minute closing statement, please.
Thank you, and I'm just going to read my statement. I want to thank everybody for the opportunity to be here with you all this evening, and I chose to run for council because I am a Coco citizen, and I chose Coco to be my hometown. I am committed to our city. I pledge to review our budget with a fine-tooth comb, cut costs where possible, and only increase spending on essential services that affect our public good. Coco District 3 is ground zero for growth in our city. I pledge to be a good steward of that growth. Because of my construction background, I am capable of reviewing all land use plans, building and road expansion plans to ensure our existing neighborhoods are respected. I will work diligently to respond to citizens' concerns and constantly evaluate our city services. I have the heart to serve the citizens of Coco District 3 and indeed our entire city. I ask for your support and your vote. Thank you.
Jennifer Kenny, thank you very much indeed for your willingness to serve as well. We really appreciate you joining us tonight. And Stephanie Moretto, your closing statement.
Thank you everyone for having me and for inviting me to this. This has been a really exciting experience. In closing, I would like to say I would be honored to serve for District 2. I would bring positive leadership that is willing to work hard for her district to make it a better place to live and do business for all, while listening to what citizens want and putting it in motion with measurable results. Love Coco, dream big. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, Stephanie, for being here tonight and being willingness to serve. Well, that's the wrap there. We're going to let you sit there for just a moment. Over to you, Ed Green. Your thoughts?
Well, this has turned out even better than we had hoped, I think. It's been a good opportunity for people to hear how our candidates are thinking, what they're thinking about, or what they intend to do. I understand, Giles, that this particular thing will be available for replay for people to see. Mm-hmm. So those of you at home who are watching, who know people who haven't had a chance to see it, please encourage them to see the replay, so the more people that see it, the more people can have an informed vote. Those of you who have seen it, you might want to look at it again and be able to maybe analyze the responses that we've heard here today, because certainly some of the things I've heard have me thinking, and I would hope that they would have you thinking as well. So give a second listen if you can and see what that brings to you. This is very, very important. It's democracy in action at the lowest level, at the most important level, at the level where we can actually make a difference in our lives every day by the choices that we make at the voting booth. I would encourage everybody out there to go out and vote, no matter who your preference is. We have had in Brevard County in the past actually a pretty reasonably good turnout compared to a lot of other places. In the last year that we had a presidential election, voter turnout was in the mid 60%, which is beating a lot of people in a lot of parts of the country. But wouldn't it be something if in Coco we could get our voting percentage, our participation up into the 80s or 90s, where we can really make a difference? So get out there and vote, whether you vote by mail, whether you vote early, whether you vote in person. There are all kinds of opportunities to do it, no reason not to. And thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much to Rip, Jennifer, and Stephanie. Great job. And we hope that you at home, or wherever you are, had a chance to get to know these candidates better, so you're more informed as you go to make that all-important vote. And we want to encourage you to get out the vote. As Ed said, you can go back and watch this broadcast again anytime you like. Just go to Space Coast Daily's Facebook page and you'll find it right there. And also encourage you to go to our main story on Space Coast Daily right now, and you can read more details about the biography of each one of our candidates so you can make your best decision. Stay tuned. More action coming up. It's next. The mayoral candidates, 5 gentlemen, will be here to participate in the next forum for 1 hour, beginning at 7 o'clock. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone. Stay tuned. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Space Coast Daily, and we're live and on location at one of the beach's favorite places to order some fantastic pizza and fantastic Italian food. We're at Papavito's Italian restaurant and pizza at Cape Canaveral, Cocoa Beach, serving all the beaches, Merritt Island on Newfound and North Banana River. And we want to go inside in just a minute. They've got some really cool people here where they do a lot for charity during these tough times, and we're going to share that with you. So we're at Papavito's Pizza. We're getting ready to show you some delicious, I mean delicious Italian pizza, some delicious lasagna, some famous garlic knots, and you're going to absolutely want to eat your finger as you watch this video. We're here at Papavito's Pizza, and the location, in case you don't know where it is right here on A1A in Cocoa Beach. There is the sign here, and right across the street is the Gator famous racetrack and putt-putt golf, and it's Papavito's contactless delivery or curbside pickup. It's 321-784-0050, and a fantastic venue to really get some hometown pizza and hometown Italian food. We're going to go in and meet Richie and Austin. They're going to give us a tour. Papavito's Italian restaurant here in Cape Canaveral, Florida. We're live and on location. And of course, as we open the restaurant, guess what you see? Look at these pizzas in here. These are really delicious pizza pies, as you can see. Look at that. That's that spinach and cheese. And we're going to hear all about this from Austin. Austin is the man. Welcome to Space Coast Daily, Austin. How you doing today?
Fantastic.
Listen, you've been here a while here at Papavito's, haven't you?
Yes. Yes, I have going on 5 years, a little over.
5 years. Are you nervous about being on Space Coast Daily?
Just a little bit. Yeah.
Just a little bit. Well, we're going to make it easy for you. Tell us about these amazing pies here, first of all.
This is our house pie. It's a 24-inch pizza. Right here we have our white pizza, which is garlic, ricotta, mozzarella, and basil.
Okay.
No sauce on that one.
Okay.
And then up here we have a few cheese pizzas.
Now, let me just ask you, before you go on with these pizzas, the size of these slices is what gets me. It's almost like a quarter of a pizza with one slice, right?
That is correct. Yeah, it's
massive.
It comes out to about a 12-inch slice.
Okay.
Starts out at $3 just for a cheese slice, and then you
wow.
can add toppings to anything that you
And what
want
is
on
this
there.
pizza right here? This looks like something I'd be interested in.
Yeah, right there, that's our Papavito special. It comes with a little bit of everything except ham and anchovies.
Okay. Awesome. And then we got this one here. Once again, my wife is, I think this is her personal favorite. What's this one called again, Austin?
That's our white pie.
White pie. All right. Cool. We're at Papavito's Pizza, and they're getting ready to shove some in the oven here. It's going to come out steamy hot. The pizza is what they're famous for. My daughter Megan was telling me about that, and she enjoys this regularly. They have a really cool system here. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. Let's take a look at the dining room, if you don't mind. First of all, let's go this way. First of all, Austin, look at the nice big bar they've got here. Tell us about your dining room, Austin.
Dining room, we got 150 seats here. We're doing every other seat at the bar. We're trying to give 2 bar stools in between everybody right now, just with all the standards that they got going on.
Okay.
We're doing every other table, just like the CDC has recommended.
Okay. Lots of football action coming up, I guess.
Oh yeah, we play every game that's
Richie,
live
how you
on
doing?
TV.
How are you?
I want to meet you, Richie. Come on over here. Richie is one of the managers here. He's been here 8 years, and Alex has been here. Austin's been here 5 years. So it's a real family affair, isn't it, Richie?
Yeah, this is a big family here. We work hard together. We play hard together.
Okay.
And we work with the community a lot as well. So. Yeah.
Okay, this is awesome. So really, what makes Papavito's different, would you say, from other pizza places in the area, Richie?
I think we're very hands-on with the community, with our customers. Obviously, we run an open kitchen, which I'm sure you'll show off in a second. So you can walk in and you can see what's going on back there. You know, nothing to hide. You can see the hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
It makes it feel like at home.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a real hometown business, isn't it?
It really is.
Has it been tough during COVID?
You know, we had a lot of support with the community.
Yep.
And that's, again, because we also support the community back. We were lucky enough to be able to, our dining room did shut down for a little bit, but we still did curbside,
Right.
Contactless delivery,
Right.
and we had pickups, and then we also opened a grocery store next door, and so we had fruits, vegetables, toilet paper, toiletries,
cool.
fresh, meals for people who couldn't go to like Publix or Walmart. They would come here.
Yeah.
And it was actually very busy.
Yeah.
And after we opened back up, we shut that down because of course we want our business back. People were still coming in like, oh, where's the grocery store? So that was pretty
How cool
neat.
is that? Yeah, we're getting some really good comments from people. Kelly loves it. Tiffany, thank you for your comments. They say, every trip down to Cocoa Beach, we visit Papavito's. Thanks, Kelly, for that comment. That's really cool. We're here at Papavito's restaurant here in Cape Canaveral. Really easy to find, right on A1A. Parking's really easy. And here's the dining room. Really nice and open. You got fantastic TVs to watch all your favorite programming. And the dining room goes all the way over there. And they really got it nailed down with these booths. They've got plenty of room indeed. And let's walk through to the other side, guys. I'll follow you over there. Papavito's, a family restaurant here in Cape Canaveral.
This we just opened in October.
Okay.
Yeah, it was late last year that we opened it. We never really got a chance to fully use the dining room just because we opened it up in the slower season just so we could kind of feel it out, and then COVID hit, so it shut us down on that. So we've never really got the full potential of the restaurant since we've opened this side, but
Okay. Fantastic. Let me just give people the new room here at Papavito. Look at this lovely banquet.
Large parties.
Yeah, awesome.
our bigger tables, tables of 6, 10, 12.
Yeah.
We dine in here.
Yeah, there it is. Look at that cool sign there. That's really nice the way you did that. Who came up with this design here? This is neat.
That was actually, what is it? I believe Apex Fabrication made that for us.
Okay.
They did a phenomenal job.
They did.
Amazing job.
Yeah.
Really nice. It's a really nice dining room here. Got some plenty of open seating, and they've got of course, the social distancing nailed down. They have it table to table. So, okay, now then, we've got a lot of people wanting to see this food. They say they're going to be ordering some. Hillary says great food. Wendy says owners and employees are amazing. Thank you guys for those comments. We've got some folks ordering some food. And now we go into this open kitchen. All right, let's check this out. See, when you come in, the kitchen is nice and open, so you can see the guys hustling and putting the stuff in the oven here. They got some goodies coming out, which we're going to maybe get a taste of here in just a moment.
This is our pizza side. This is
Okay.
over here. This is where we do our salads, our
Okay.
dinners. Over
Okay,
here.
right.
This is where the magic comes for our pizzas.
Okay.
Our toppings, our cheeses. This is where
Yeah,
we always make them.
right. And who's my man here? Who's the man who makes it happen here? These guys in the kitchen.
These guys are. This is Ulysses, and then we have John over
Okay.
here.
How you doing, John? All right, man.
He slings the pies.
Yeah.
He makes all the food over here.
Okay.
Great job.
Yeah. Here it comes. Let me just get a little view of that oven there. Look at that, guys, coming out.
He's cheesing a lasagna right now. He's getting the
Okay.
last portion, and then getting our wings.
Oh, the
and
chicken
getting all
wings.
heated up.
Are you going to share with us what goes into these chicken wings? What's the secret to these fantastic world-class wings here, Richie? What do you think?
Oven baked, twice baked.
Twice baked.
They have
Okay.
good sauces.
In the oven twice. The sauce selection that we have here is it's a very wide selection.
Okay.
We have barbecue, teriyaki, garlic, sriracha wings. We have what we call a boom boom wing, which is a little bit spicier.
Okay. Nice. Nice. And the portions are big here, aren't they, at Papavito's?
Yeah, we serve big food. We serve
then,
big food. It's true.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
What you're about to see come out of the oven right now between 3 and 6 every day.
Uh-huh.
We do our wings that are in there right now
Uh-huh.
are 50 cents a piece.
Okay.
The lasagna in there, it's BOGO. You
Okay.
buy
Oh,
2
wow.
drinks.
Okay.
You get free garlic knots when you dine in with us, and comes with a salad and dinner.
Yeah,
So
you
lasagna is buy one, get one?
Yeah, it's
any dinner
all
that
on.
we have except scallops and veal
Okay.
are available for the BOGO. So
So yeah, equal or lesser price. You can come in, spend $20,
Yeah.
and have a full dining experience with your friend,
Yeah.
or a loved one, or whoever.
Wow.
And you get, you can buy one, get one meal free.
Yeah.
Now back to these chicken wings. Between 3 and 6, we do our happy hour. We
Okay.
have 50-cent wings. We have $1.50 Bud Light drafts, which
Okay.
is amazing.
Awesome.
The wings, since we twice bake them, they fall off the bone. He's pulling them out right now.
Okay.
And bring it over here.
All right, bring those babies over here.
People.
Edward LaCorey, thanks, Edward, for your comment. Edward says the #1 business in Brevard that constantly helps and supports not only their community in Cape Canaveral, but churches and all the rest of it. So we want to support our local businesses, folks, just like Papavito's supports the community. Uh-oh, look at these here. I got to get a close-up. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, look. Oh, you should smell the sauce coming off of there, guys. Those chicken wings absolutely smell so good. There it is. What's your name again, sir? Ulysses. Okay, he makes up these wings. These are Papavito's. What type of wings are these, Richie?
These are barbecue.
that's the barbecue.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
But you can see. I mean, you could take
Yeah.
a spoon and just
Oh,
it
yeah.
just melts away.
Oh yeah. Look at that.
It's a very good flavor. Fall off the bone.
Oh yeah.
Get it with ranch or
Okay.
blue cheese sauce. It's it.
And your happy hour with these wings is what time?
50-cent wings between 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock every day.
Wow. Okay. There you go. 50-cent wings. So you come and get a dozen wings. You're only talking about $6.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow. That's a great deal. We shall.
They're filling. They're very tasty.
Richie, tell us about some of the charity work that you do. I know it's a big important thing to your group here.
It is. Every year.
Bring that lasagna over, Ulysses. Don't be
Oh, yeah.
don't be bashful. We're gonna talk.
Shine that lasagna.
We're gonna talk and eat at the same time here. I gotta get me a fork, Richie. What are you doing?
I have a spoon.
Okay, a spoon works too.
Let me go get a fork and a knife.
Gotta give you a Space Coast Daily official rating on this lasagna, because lasagna, I'm an expert on lasagna. I'm like Garfield when it comes to lasagna. Look at that.
You just ordered lasagna?
That is, all right, let me see here.
Here, I'll help take
Open
this
that up
apart
for me.
you.
I've got to try some of this lasagna. I'm going to give you on a scale of 1 to 10. Because it's extremely hot, probably.
Yeah, it's very hot.
But look at this. I just want to show you. Now, if you like lasagna, check this out. This is Papavito's. Yeah, I'm going to let that just cool,
Yeah, you're gonna have to let
cool
it
down, because knowing me, I'll probably put the whole thing in my mouth.
That's an item that Austin actually makes daily. He puts it together.
And welcome back, everyone, to this very special edition of the City of Coco's Candidate Forum. Once again, I'm Ron Lighthall with Space Coast TV, and we're going to introduce tonight's host and moderators. With the Coco Village Neighborhood Coalition, we have Mr. Ed Green, and of course, Space Coast Daily's very own Giles Malone. Giles, if you want to take it away.
Thank you very much, Ron, and we're delighted to have you with our team now, you and Rhett. We're really pleased with having you join our group. Well, welcome, everyone. This is the second hour of our City of Coco candidate debate and forum tonight, and that was a great hour we had at the beginning there with those candidates for the council. We really want to appreciate everyone who's running for office this year. And we're just 54 days away or so from the big day, November 3rd. And we're now really delighted to have 5 great gentlemen who are in the room tonight to present to you their platforms for their running for mayor of the great city of Coco. First of all, to my left, Mike Blake. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you very much, Giles.
Alan Coward. Welcome to you, Alan. Good evening. Bob Harvey. Welcome to you.
Thank you, Giles.
Henry Parrish III. Welcome, Henry.
How you doing? Thanks, Giles.
And Jake Williams Jr. Thank you so much, Mayor, for joining us here tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Well, we're honored once again to be presenting this to you tonight. For those of you at home, this is the second hour of the Coco Candidates Debate and Forum. And we're joined tonight with Mr. Ed Green, who's part of the leadership at the Coco Village Neighborhood Coalition. And they've really been instrumental in helping us put this together to present all of these candidates to you tonight so you can make an informed decision for this very important role of the mayor of the city of Coco. Ed Green, what are your thoughts tonight?
Well, Giles, I just want to say once again thank you and Space Coast Daily and Space Coast Television for partnering with us to bring this forum forward. It's an opportunity for people in Coco to see what the candidates look like, what they feel, what they have to say, what they think, and it will help people make an informed decision when it comes time to vote in the fall.
Indeed. For those of you who'd like more information about the Coco Village Neighborhood Coalition, join their Facebook group, and they'd be happy to have you. So now then, the format for tonight, we're going to have 1-minute opening statements from each of the 5 candidates, and then we'll be following that up with questions all the way across the group, back and forth. And then we're going to have an opportunity at the end for each candidate to ask one of their fellow candidates a question. We're going to have 2 rounds of that, and we will be asking each candidate to keep their responses down to 1 minute. And Don Rogers over here has a yellow card that goes up at 45 seconds and a red card that goes up at 1 minute. So we can try to be fair and keep everyone into the equal amount of time. So first of all, we're going to start with Mike Blake. To my left, first question. These all questions, by the way, come directly from you, the citizens of Coco, and they've been curated by the folks at the Coco Village Neighborhood Coalition. So these are verbatim questions from you, the people who are going to vote in this very important election. First question, Mike. Water customer complaints are a recurring theme brought before the council. What are your thoughts regarding this issue?
Well, everyone has the right to voice their opinions and their concerns. That's a part of our democracy, and that's the thing I enjoy. Being an 8th grade U.S. history teacher, a lifelong educator in the great city of Coco, I'm happy to say every voice counts, everyone matters. Every individual should be respected. And I solely do appreciate that, come good, bad, or indifferent. They have the right to be heard. We have the right to listen to our constituents and value their opinion, and then render a decision. If not, assist them with their concerns.
Thank you, sir. Alan Cowett, same question. Water customer complaints are a recurring theme brought before the council. What are your thoughts regarding this issue?
As he said, I agree everybody should have a chance to be heard when they have an issue with the city, and we need to listen to them, see if we can address them the best way possible. Some people just have ongoing complaints that don't ever get listened to, and whether it's complaints with a neighbor or complaints with city, something happening then doesn't happen. I believe that they do need to be heard, they need to be addressed at that time, and see what way we can ramify their issues.
Thank you, sir. Same question, Bob Harvey. What water customer complaints are a recurring issue before the council? What are your thoughts about this?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me here tonight, Giles, and thank you for the team here to set this all up and the other gentlemen to be here. I do appreciate the opportunity to talk to the citizens of Coco. The recurring issue of the water department, that's something I've been watching for about 8 years, and I do believe that's a problem that we need to get to the bottom of. For those not familiar with it, there is a Facebook page out there that help you tell you what it is. But one of the things I notice is that over the years, it's been a little disappointing to me is how the reaction is given back to the citizen. When a citizen comes and talks to us on the council, should I be fortunate enough to get there, we have to treat them as if they're our boss. It's their city, and we owe them the courtesy and the respect and civility in our responses and our efforts to get to the bottom of their problem. They don't get up in the morning and make up something to come and talk to the council about. Their heartfelt issue needs to be dealt with, and I've seen it dismissed too many times. I will tackle that problem just as soon as I get there.
Okay. Henry Parrish, same question. Water customer complaints are a recurring issue before the council. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, Giles was mayor between 2012 and 18, and we made some policy changes during that tenure to make it fairer. But I still once a week I still get a customer calling me, and I try to give them the right number, the right contact, or the right solution. There's an issue there of water meters that are bad. There's misreadings. We know that, and I believe the policy. That's one of the elements of the utilities that I want to that I'm running on is going to revisit all that. There's something not dialed in right because that is a big issue, and it's costing people in a lot of cases, $400, $500, $800, and they can't afford it. And there's very limited recourse to correct it. Yellow card. Okay. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Henry.
Yep.
Same question, Jake. Water Council complaints at the council. What are your thoughts on improving this?
Thank you, sir. I'm not going to repeat some of the stuff that's been said already, but the policies are in place, and there are some good policies in place. But what a lot of folks fail to understand is that, a lot of time we have water issues with our customers, and a lot of them are the unincorporated Coco and other areas throughout the county. The issue ends up being a sewer issue. So what happens is when they have a leak, we give them credit for that leak. Well, then they have to go to their prospective municipalities or cities or the county to get that credit for the sewage. And they think the city actually do that because if you look at your water bill, your sewage is your biggest charge on there. And that credit doesn't come from the city of Coco. It comes from whatever city that you live in or the county. But one thing we did address last night, and I know in our council meeting, Councilwoman Cost actually stated, is what we're trying to do is now we're going to be speaking with the other municipalities in the county with references so we can streamline that a little bit. So while the city, they can come to the city and we can give them that credit, for the other cities involved. I'm sorry, sir. Thank
Perfect
you.
timing. Thank you, sir. This question now goes to you, Jake, starting back on your side. The city has many vacant residential lots and distressed housing stock across many neighborhoods. Do you have a plan to address this?
Yes, sir. I've been meeting with developers probably for the last year. We got 57 vacant lots throughout the city, which is absolutely ridiculous because the city is not in the real estate business. I've met with Mr. Kevin Duran with Bethel Homes. He's a developer that wants to come in there and build affordable houses, but he also wants to bring jobs there as well. These are metal frame homes that actually withstand winds up to 200 miles an hour. The roofs, and they want to hire folks in the city of Coco, and they want to start in the city of Coco with their manufacturing company to build these homes and to fill these lots. Also, Mr. Doug Bowen from Bowen Affordable Housing. He's built a couple of homes on Fernandale and Rockledge, Key West style homes, same style homes. He wants to do the same thing. He owns 1.81 acres off of Hewlett and 520. He wants to trade that with the city for some of these lots so he can build homes and put affordable, not only affordable, but workforce housing as well. Am I still going? Or?
Thank you, Jake.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Henry Parrish, the city has many vacant residential lots and distressed housing stock across many neighborhoods. How do you plan to address this?
Well, I won't say the same thing Jake did, but I met with a builder yesterday for workforce housing. In other words, houses to infill neighborhoods. But the point I want to make is it's a bigger question. When I was mayor, everything I did was to affect property value. Okay, we have a problem here. We're a 125-year-old city, and about every 35 years you have to redevelop. Okay, so we can think about infilling the lots with builders that are willing to do that and come in efficiently. I'm all for that. I think everybody probably is, if it's the right size house. But the biggest problem is property values. Let me ask you a quick question. Make sure my time's good. You go to Rockledge, you go to Levitt Park, okay? Levitt Park, you go to Georgetown, and all those block houses that were built all through Coco. How come when you cross in the Coco line, it's worth half? Same house, better location, worth half. It's because we've neglected for many, many years to work on real estate prices and value. And we need to bring the value up. That'll take care of that problem. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bob Harvey. The city has many vacant residential lots and distressed housing stock across many neighborhoods. Do you have a plan to address this?
Giles, I not only have a plan, I am addressing it in at least 2 different neighborhoods. In one neighborhood, I'm part of a volunteer effort where we have revitalized more than 17 homes and built 2 homes on vacant lots to offer affordable workforce housing, home ownership to people, not rentals, but home ownership. And I'm also a partner in the development of the south end of the city that is offering another 75 homes, middle-income homes, to residents of Coco. I haven't started this idea just because I'm running for mayor. I've been doing it for 4 years. If I'm elected mayor, I'll continue to do that on a citywide basis and try to grow those programs, because I'm convinced if we can revitalize one of our neighborhoods, we can revitalize our entire city. And it's working for us. We've actually reduced crime 40% in that neighborhood in 3 years. And we've turned, like I said, more than 17 homes into owner-occupied homes in a nice little neighborhood in Coco.
Thank you, sir. Alan Cowett. The city has many vacant residential lots and distressed housing stock across many neighborhoods. Do you have a plan to address this?
That's actually one of my big concerns. It's not only addressing the house issue, you need to address the people that own it. We need to get these houses at a price that people can afford them. And we have all the vacant land to do. I'm a land clearing developer, so I've tore down a bunch of them. And Habitat for Humanity does a fantastic job with getting people in houses and helping them afford to stay there and maintaining the home. So it's not just giving them a home. Let's give them the instruction and the knowledge to maintain it and put them back on the tax rolls, which is what we need to do. As you said, the city doesn't need to own land. I've been saying that for a long time. So let's just build houses. We can do it. We can get builders. Any builder will come in. But let's teach these people how to maintain it and how they can afford it and keep them there. Don't make them Section 8. Let's give them the pride of ownership and get these things where their own houses.
Thank you, sir. Mike Blake, same question. The city has many vacant residential lots and distressed housing stock across many neighborhoods. Do you have a plan to address this?
Absolutely, sir. It takes cooperation and communication with our community development director. Mm-hmm. It takes cooperation from within the city itself. And I think it's a prime opportunity for an individual who has aspirations of owning their own home. This is a great time. I don't look at it as a blighted area. I think it's an opportunity for growth with the proper support, because clearly beyond a shadow of a doubt, when an individual owns their home, they feel that they're a part of the process, they have a vote in the government, and they take ownership. I had to wear a pink tutu once upon a time, believe it or not, for Habitat for Humanity. And it was an all-girls build. And it was a bet as I was departing. I had a bet with the ladies that if they could build this house for a resident in the city of Coco, I would wear a pink tutu. Lord behold, the ladies completed the project 2 weeks in advance. So here's a chance and a time where an individual can make a opportune, great advancement in their own personal livelihood when they can own property and be a homeowner. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now this question goes right back to you, Mike. What can we do to address the homelessness across the city?
Excellent question, sir. I see this daily. It's going to take a cooperation of law enforcement. It's going to take a cooperation with the city itself, our local agencies, those that provide shelter for them, our churches. It's a community event. I don't think arresting those individuals, the homeless, or those that are mentally challenged, is the answer. I know it's going to take counseling as well, because everyone has the opportunity to have a place to live in a secured environment. Yes, it is an ongoing issue. And yes, parents, family members, and the city, and our cooperation with other agencies will work together in a uniform manner to address this concern.
Thank you, sir. Alan Cowett, same question. What can the city do to address homelessness?
I'm a reserve deputy with the Brevard County Sheriff's Department at this time, so we see a lot of homeless camps. We've been out there. It's a twofold situation. You have homeless people that want a place to live and can't afford it. They've lost all their income. They've lost whatever they had. Then you have people that don't want to have a house. You got to figure out which group you're dealing with and how to help their needs. The people that want a house, we need to find them a place to be and help them get a job, get a little education so they can operate and manufacture and do what they want to do. The ones that don't want a job, I don't know what to do with them. I don't think there is a good answer to that. I have people ask me that all the time. How come we got homeless people here? It's like they got to be somewhere, so we need to help them figure out where they can be, whether it's, we got great churches, we got other organizations that are willing to help anybody that wants help. All they got to do is ask. And the people that say, I can't do anything or can't find help, that's not right, because there's so many people that will. We have city organizations, we got churches, we got a lot of different things. So there's help if they want it, and we definitely need to do something, because we got these little camps everywhere. And nobody wants them in their backyard, but they're there. So we just got to address it and see what we can do to help them.
Thank you, sir. Bob Harvey, what can the city do to address homelessness?
One of the things that I bring to this opportunity to become mayor is that I've been around this country and I've been around the world, and I've seen a lot of other places that have a lot of programs that work. So rather than the city of Coco trying to reinvent a program or design a program or create one that works, let's go find one that works in another city that's comparable size and has similar issues, and let's try to adopt that and maybe change it a little bit to make it work for our city. But let's go find where success has been successful, and let's bring it back to our city and make it work. We and the council won't ever have all the answers to every problem that comes up. We have to be willing to open our minds, open our thoughts to other ideas, listen to other people who have solved these problems in a lot of other places around the world, and bring those solutions to the city of Coco. There's a great opportunity here. All we have to do is look for the right answers.
Thank you, Henry. What can the city do to address homelessness?
Well, just a side note, I have a small house that I put up a homeless family, and through the Homeless Coalition. Bob's right, Mike's right, churches, there's a lot of services out there. There's not one answer that will answer this. I don't think I can think of any city in Florida that solved that problem. Mental health is a big, big deal. I've noticed late, I know this drive Jake crazy, there's a lot of new homeless walking around the city, and they're all over Brevard County from other areas. And you can't, they have rights. I do neighborhood watch in my little town, and they have rights. You can only do so much with them. If they want help, if they want to go up the ladder and have an apartment or maybe get back in society, then it's what they can do. But it's a complicated issue. There's a lot of services out there. The city needs to give to those services to help them. But something radical, different has to come in to solve it.
Thank you, sir. Jake Williams, what can the city do to address homelessness?
Well, there's a lot the city can do to address homelessness, but the thing about it is one size don't fit all. And people think because one city is doing it one way, then the city of Coco will be able to do it and it will be the same way. It doesn't work that way. Our problem is that what we've done is we've locked our restrooms, we've shut our gates, we've moved our benches, and we've drove the homeless in places that we didn't expect for them to go, and that was in the village and other places throughout the city. The churches need to do what churches have always done, feed their parishioners, and then when they have families and the parishioners need food, or if there's others that come to their church that need some food and some help, take care of them and help them out. Because what we've done is we've taken money away from the nonprofits that deal with this. We've taken money away from them because now people are giving the money to the churches, and the churches are doing their things, and our state legislators are basically saying now, because you're doing the same thing, because the churches are doing the same thing the nonprofits are doing, we're going to keep that money away from the nonprofits. We need to get away from that. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Now this question goes right back to you now, Jake. How will you promote civility on the council specifically and in the public arena in general?
We've been doing that. I mean, it's just, we've had some issues on the council. But it's hard to explain. You had a couple of individuals that are termed out, and there's been some issues with them and the new council that came in. The new council, once we got into office, we hit the ground running because there were some serious issues when I stepped into office and when we stepped into office. I mean, we had our comp plan was out of compliance. We couldn't do any future annexations, any projects that required a comp plan changes, because the city comp plan was out of compliance. Staffing wise, we had one planning manager. That was it. Our permitting process was horrible. I don't know what happened. We didn't have an economic development director, not assistant economic development director. We had an economic specialist, and her hands were tied. She couldn't do anything. We had our Diamond Square. They were getting rid of our Diamond Square. So we were faced with a lot of stuff. But these other individuals, for some reason, they fought us the whole way. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry
Same
about
question
that.
for Henry Parrish. How will you promote civility on the council specifically and in the public arena in general?
Well, as mayor from 2012 to 18, I try to divvy it up. I probably presided over 160 meetings, official meetings, and I consider we probably had 2 bad ones and maybe 5 marginal ones. But you just have to listen to everybody, hear them out, let them vent. Venting's a big deal. And then usually there's a better outcome. It's a good outcome. But I feel like that my meetings were very calm, and uplifting. And you just have to treat people equal, right, equitable, and everything will work out. So that's it.
Thank you, sir. Bob Harvey, how will you promote civility on the council specifically and in the public arena in general?
Well, that one begins with leadership, and it comes from the top. We need to have our very strong leadership set the example for everybody in the meetings and on the street. We don't attack our citizens. We're kind to our citizens. We're respectful. We're civil with them. Watch a few meetings where some of the citizens got a little carried away, and you need to stop that. You need to control the meeting. You need to control the city council meeting and ask them to be civil and respectful when they're talking to the council members. Likewise, council members need to be held in check to be respectful and show civility in those meetings. We can disagree, but we can still remain civil and respectful of each other. I will insist on that. I do that every day. I have a lot of experience at that, and I'll continue to do that if elected. Even if not elected, I'll continue to do that.
Okay. Alan Cowett, how will you promote civility at the council and in the public arena in general?
The public arena, everybody needs to be treated in equal value. I talk to people the way I want to be talked to, and if you talk to somebody in normal tones and manner, they'll talk to you the same way. If you get hot and heavy with them, they're going to shut down, or they're going to start yelling back at you and nobody's gaining anything. As I said, if you're in a meeting process, you need to control it. People get excited, get off key, and tone them down a little bit, let them settle out, and then keep going with your meeting and go there, address their issues. People, as an elected official, we're there to help them accomplish their needs and their wants. And we forget that all the time. And they elected us to help represent them. So let's do that. And then, as long as they're not devaluing somebody else's property, you can do that. You can help them, get whatever they're trying to accomplish done. But you got to keep it, where you're talking on normal planes and listen to what their needs are and their wants are, and it'll work out.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Mike Blake, how will you promote civility on the council and in the public arena in general?
I'm a firm believer in Robert's Rules of Law. That's the first thing. The second thing, being a mayor, having the most seniority out of everyone along this panel right here, I have over 12 years with the city of Coco as an elected official. The mayor sets the tempo. He sets the example. That gavel, Robert Rules of Law, and the mayor sets the tempo in the arena. Also, the old proverbial adage, saying treat others the way you want to be treated. And you lead by example. So once you set the tempo and you lead by example, people will adhere to your example and follow those rules and guidelines. And that's the beautiful thing about structured democracy. I'm a firm believer in that.
Thank you, sir. This goes back right away to you, Mike.
Bring it on.
Sure. How would you attract business and industry that is appropriate for the city and bring new jobs?
Good question, sir. Coco's the hottest thing right now on the map in Brevard County. As you can clearly see, development is coming. The train is coming in. Our population base is growing. It's being enhanced. Once upon a time, we were about 16, 17,000. Then we escalated to 18,000. Now we're at 19,000 and growing. So clearly, Coco is the place to be. It takes cooperation. It takes leadership. All this, what we've stated. We have to bring everyone at the table and have a voice. That is a key imperative decision, and it's led by the mayor and his council in conjunction with the city manager, also with city staff, and also with businesses throughout the city of Coco and the citizens of Coco, because they speak clearly when we have town hall meetings. They would like to know, how can we improve our city? And it starts with individuals like myself and everyone else, but the most important person, the citizens of Coco. 2 simple rules. Rule 1, citizens come first. Rule 2, go back to rule number 1. That's how we do it.
Thank you, Mike. Alan Cowett, how would you attract business and industry that is appropriate to our city and bring good jobs?
Well, Coco's got a uniqueness that Rockledge doesn't have, some of these other areas, because we do have vacant land. We got 524, we got 528, got Grissom Road. So, and that area with the train coming in gives that area a great chance to grow and come in with businesses that will help when they put the station in. That'll help supply needs to that station. We've got a bunch of vacant land. We've got a bunch of vacant buildings, which drives me nuts because I'm riding by them all the time, whether I'm patrolling or whether I'm just working with my business. And I think we got to do something to bring people in, whether it's giving them tax breaks. Nobody wants to raise tax, so we got to develop what we have and bring it in so we get more tax base out of the same buildings. So we have all the vacant land on Cox Road. There's a bunch of vacant land out here, and we need to give tax incentives. We need to get out there and try to get these people to come in, look at Coco and say, hey, that's a great place. It is growing. We're very lucky that we have the land to go to and make this work.
Thank you, sir. Bob Harvey, how would you attract business and industry that is appropriate to the city of Coco and brings good jobs?
Well, this is a critical question for the city of Coco. When you read through our strategic plan, it's about 5 years old, and you look at it, one of the most highlighted issues for the city of Coco is the perception that developers, investors have, negative perception that the developers and business people have about investing in Coco. It's a perception we need to attack head on. We need to make it better, easier, more welcoming for investors and developers. Having said that, I am a developer now, and I am investing money in the city. I thought surely it couldn't be so difficult, but it has been a challenge. And one of the biggest challenges associated with this is literally in 2 years, we're on our 6th person at the City of Coco staff that we're talking to in charge. And the turnover in our city staff is just dramatic, and we need to get to the bottom of that and find out why people are leaving, why we can't keep good people, and then empower our employees to do the right thing. They're good people. We just need to help them and keep them and try to work really hard to keep them.
Thank you, sir. Henry Parrish, how would you attract business and industry that is appropriate to the city and brings good jobs?
Well, first of all, it's one thing we're all talking about tonight is you have to provide stability to our city. You have to, if our city is not safe, my administration lowered crime 51%. You're not safe, you're not going to lure anybody. You're not going to lure the dog catcher there. But my administration, we had an economic development department that went out and solicited all the major top corporations to come here, and that's how we got the Walmart distribution center with 500 jobs, and a lot of other small companies that came in and are coming in. I'm hopeful that just because property value is low and we're kind of slipping up on crime, that we can take care of all these issues and these people will come in and spend money. But it really is if you're not safe, you're not going to invest. And if you're not going to invest, it's going to look like a wasteland, like some of these areas. We have the best location in the county, and we need to promote it and get the job done and employ our citizens. Thank you.
Thank you, Henry.
That's a little
Jake Williams, how will you attract business and industry to the city that is appropriate for the city and brings good jobs?
2 minutes? But anyway, we have everything that any city would need to attract new business to the city. I'm going to tell you where our issue is, because we have the homes, we have everything that in place. We have the land, but our problem is you look at our street level crimes, you look at the blight in the city. Once you address all those issues, once you take care of all those issues, the business is going to come to your city. You look at US 1, along US 1, all that vacant land we got there, Burger King, Wendy's. I say, but you look at the corner of US 1 and 520. Look at the corner of Fisk and 520. Look at Clear Lake and 520. Look at Fisk and Roselle Jones. You look at the blight in those areas. You look at the things that are happening in those areas. Once you address those issues, believe me, they're going to tear our doors down, just like the developers right now bringing the homes to the city of Coco. And so those restaurants that we love to see in our city, we clean our city up, and then I guarantee you they're going to tear our doors down trying to get to us, and we don't have to offer them any incentives. So,
thank you, sir. This question is now for you, Jake. The charter of the city of Coco is up for review soon. What changes would you like to see?
I would like to, there's a few things that need to be changed in the charter. Of course, they're going to have to do some rezoning because of all the new development that's coming in the city of Coco. But there's some issues with reference to city management. You had this little deal in there where it took a supermajority to get rid of your city manager, and I understand why we did that back then. Because the city was going through city managers just like you go through a roll of paper towels. And so it was to protect the city manager whenever we got to get city manager. That's another one that need to be addressed because the power need to go back into the hands of the council. Because what happens then you don't have to deal with some of the issues I was facing coming into office to where we were giving them direction and then the city management wasn't following those directions that we were giving them. Everything was being slow rolled. And that should never happen. And the citizens of Coco, we work for them. We give the city manager direction. He handles the day-to-day operations. And he needs to implement those directions that we're giving him, or try his best to implement them.
Thank you, sir. Same question, Henry. The city charter is up for review. What changes would you like to see?
Well, I'm trying to think what, I can't remember, my council, I remember they bucked me on something. But number one is we need to stiffen the rules in running for office. And I mean just tweak them. Okay, and I can't remember I was talking to an attorney a while back, but we need to stiffen those rules. We need to make sure that when people run, they're eligible. And I'm not talking about anybody up here. I'm talking about in general. We need to make sure that they have a background, maybe some sort of background check, or they live there. If you look at other cities, it's a little more stringent than what we have. Ours was written probably in the 1950s, and it's wide open. I know by charter, we protected Coco Riverfront Park for forever because I had developers keep coming in wanting to put a marina there. And that's probably the only thing at my mind would change, but there's stuff that comes up from time to time. You got to have consensus, and it's not as easy as you think. Okay? Okay.
I'm sure it's not. Colonel Harvey, city charter's up for review. What changes would you like to see?
Well, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and put this on record, but I don't have the answers to all the questions that will come up in front of the city. But I know if I ask the citizens, we've got some pretty smart people out here, and we've got a pretty smart staff, and if we all got in a room and talked about the city charter and what might need to be updated, then I'm willing to bet that a lot of smart people will come up with a lot of ideas. And then we call them down, just like you do any other problem that you solve. It's a problem-solving exercise. Identify the problem if there is one, and there might not be any in the charter, although I do agree with Henry on that one. There's probably a lot that we can't think of sitting here under the lights right now in just 1 minute each. But I'll bet you the people, the citizens of Coco, have a few that we could take on.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Alan Cowett, the city charter up for review. What changes would you like to see?
As my learned colleague here, I don't know all the details. If it was written that long ago, there's got to be stuff to make it current. I mean, just that's plain and simple. Things have changed over the last 20, 30 years. And so you're going to have to go through there. The best thing, as I said, is ask people that know what needs to be, what the complaints have been, what are the problems with it that have kept somebody from accomplishing whatever, and address those issues and go from there.
Thanks, sir. Mike, city charter review, what changes would you like to see?
As the economy change, so will the people change, and so will their desire change. I'm a firm believer in the community. The people will tell you what you need to do. They give you the stamp of approval when you are elected or not elected. So that change comes with the people and their desires. And whatever changes they request, then we as elected officials shall meet that. I think the revision should happen every 5 years, just to be current and prompt in addressing the issues, especially with growth, pandemic, emergency plans, et cetera, economic reasons. Those are the issues I would say that I would address with the charter, with the people including, and they are the driving force, or the driving force.
Thank you. Interesting question here from the public. Looking forward, Mike, 3 to 5 years, what is the worst thing that could happen to Coco, and what is the best thing?
Oh, wow, the best thing, I don't look at things as a glass half empty. Half empty. I look at it as being half full. We have a small, unique city. Excuse me. I'm going through that change in life, I guess. Hey, my greatest concern right now is it's all about leadership. And the change is going to come. The greatest thing the city of Coco has to offer is its location and the surrounding environment. Growth, development, population enhancement, tax base being enhanced. People are coming here. We are the eye of the Brevard County tourism because we're the last of the frontier, especially the Coco corridor area, the 524, 528, 95 corridor. That's a lot of undeveloped land that people are biting at the bit to come. Because here's the reason why, Giles. During my tenure as mayor, I used to tell the city manager every time I went to the airport, I'm seeing development. Orange County moving eastward, Coco moving westward. And here we are. The train is coming, and if you build it, people will come, and they're coming. Economic development and growth is the key.
Thank you, sir. Alan Coward, looking forward to 3 to 5 years, what's the worst thing that could happen to the city of Coco, and the best thing?
Well, the best is here. We have a great downtown area. There's been, great renovations. We got great restaurants coming into the area. Looking at the worst, our worst is not fixing up how we get here. We got 520, we got US 1, we got all those blighted areas that you come through that look like junk, and then you come to downtown, which is everybody spent a lot of time making it look great, which is a fantastic thing, but we need to work out from there, not only get development and growth, but let's improve it. Let's help people improve their storefronts, make it look better with help them with money or help them do work or whatever. But we got a great area, and Coco's a fantastic place. I mean, I've been here all my life. I'm 5th out of 7 generations in Coco, so we kind of like the area. But I don't see in a bad. We don't want to look at a bad area. I think our bad is if we fail the people, and that's our worst thing we can do, is not help them and help the area grow and get more people here. Because we don't want to raise taxes. We want to get more taxes where we'll still be able to do the same thing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The question from the citizen is, looking forward 3 to 5 years, what's the worst thing that could happen to the city and the best thing? Bob Harvey.
Well, Giles, I've written a history book about the city of Coco, and it's seen some hard times and it's seen some better times. The worst thing that could happen is some more hard times. Right now, we're pretty much dependent on the space industry. We're getting away from that, and that's the good times. We're going to get away from just depending on the space industry and grow. Al was exactly right. We need to clean up that corridor headed westbound on 520, but we can do that. We have a lot of opportunity to do that. We want to bring some growth in here. We want to bring people in and investment and growth. The best thing that can happen for us is we turn a lot of our older housing, we turn it over and keep homeowners here in Coco instead of having them drive across 95 somewhere else to go live and buy a house. We make the houses here that they want in the city limits, and then we keep people for the space industry and our other growth industries that we're developing down the road. I think Coco's got a great future. I know where it's been, wrote a book about it, and I can see the future and I can see how bright it is. This is a jewel, and we need to take advantage of it and get it moving now.
Okay. Henry Parrish, thank you, sir. Looking forward 3 to 5 years, what's the worst thing that could happen to the city and the best thing?
Well, the worst thing could happen if people quit drinking water or washing their cars or taking a shower. I'm not advocating that. That's the worst thing. The best thing is we do our water expansion in 2024, 25, and we get a lot more revenue in, and we're able to support these activities of economic development. A lot of these areas off 520, 524, Clear Lake. Everybody thinks Clear Lake's all Coco. It's not. Most of it's the county. Okay, Mayor will tell you, the county has to partner with us to build out the rest of the city. We got enclaves there, but my dream is to be somewhere else, out of state, and somebody say they moved to Coco and it's the greatest city. They couldn't believe it. My dream is that the state of Florida knows how good we are, and we fulfill that dream. That's first and foremost. And there's a lot of ways of doing it. You got to bring back economic development and property value for sure. That'll help everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Henry. Jake, same question. Looking forward 3 to 5 years, what's the worst thing that could happen to the city of Coco, and the best thing?
The worst thing is to do nothing, and we continue to be treated like the dumping ground of the county. Or we can do something moving forward and take our city to the next level, and that's cleaning up the blight, reducing our street level crimes, addressing the inequalities that we see within our city, addressing the homelessness issues that we have in our city. You know, we address all these issues right here moving forward, then you see a new Coco. Once we address those issues, we got the housing coming, you got the economic development that will be coming, and then we can rebrand our city, and people start looking at the city and treating us with respect. Because if our water's good enough for you, then our city should be good enough for you. And that's the way I feel. I grew up here, I've seen the changes. There's been some great changes. There's been some not so great. But you know what? We're moving forward. I mean, housing values are going up, which is really great for the city of Coco. And, you know, there we go. I mean, we know what we need to do, and we just need to take some action and do it to move our city forward.
Thank you, sir. This question is for you now, Jake. The City of Coco Police Department has an extremely limited budget for officer training, additional educational courses, and officer advancement training. If elected, how would you change this?
I don't know if there is an issue. I mean, because as a mayor, I know I've talked to the chief on a number of occasions, especially the 2 budget cycles that we've gone through. And my question was, what do you need? I've talked to the chief of police, fire chief, all the department heads. What do you need? And I've always been told that we're good. And whatever was put in the budget, that's pretty much what they got. But, you know, due to this pandemic, there was some stuff that we didn't necessarily have to do. We backed off of. But as far as the training, I mean, that was one of the issues in the study that was done with reference to our police department. You know, they spend more time training than they do patrolling based on the study that was done that came out in 2018. And so, you know, I think we got a great police department. They're great with public relations. But from what I get from the community and the complaints I get from the community, the policing is lacking in certain areas of the city of Coco. So they're getting the training is there, the funding is there. If we don't know, we can't give it to you. I mean, tell us. I mean, let us know what you need, you know, so.
Thank you, sir. Henry Parrish, the City of Coco Police Department has an extremely limited budget on officer training, additional educational courses, and officer advancement training. If elected, how will you change this?
Well, I've heard that it's short on training, and we need to look at what the administration wants and evaluate it and do it. My administration, we brought in the body cams. We brought in the Citizen Advisory Board to be a intermediate with the citizens. But as far as training and, you know, we have other issues in there. It's pay. It's very low pay right now, even though they've had a contract for years now. We have to get the pay up because we're probably hiring the 2nd, 4th, or 5th qualified person that came out of these schools. So you can't keep people. Training's a huge amount of money, and if you don't pay them, they leave. Okay, right now there's people leaving the police department in droves, and it hurts me to see that. We need to start paying them and look at all aspects of it, and keep politics out of it all the way. But we need to look at all aspects of that department. It's in need. So thank you.
Thank you, Henry. Bob Harvey, the City of Coco Police Department has an extremely limited budget for officer training, educational courses, and officer advancement training. If elected, how will you change this?
I talked to a lot of police officers, and the one thing that I think we need to do is start listening to them. They are telling us what the issues are. They are telling us how to fix them. We need to listen to them. Again, the 5 of us and the 5 people on the council do not have the right answers to fix a problem. You have to ask the people who actually are experiencing the problem, get their solutions, their recommendations, then you get an opportunity to kick those around and solve the problem. We have great officers. These guys and gals are great Americans. Every single one of them is working really hard for the city of Coco. Once again, I've been around the world and I've seen a lot of programs in other places that help cities. And I'd like to bring some of those here. One of those, for example, one of those is a down payment assistance program for any police or fireman, police officer or fireman who wants to live in the city of Coco. We could help them own a house in Coco, and that is a win-win. So that's how we do it. We listen to the officers, we listen to the firemen, we listen to the citizens.
Alan, same question. City of Coco Police Department has a limited budget for officer training, educational courses, and advancement. If elected, how will you change this?
I've been a law enforcement officer for over 8 years, and I've been involved in Coco. I was raised here and then rode through Coco on bicycles all my life. We do have a great Coco department. I've been talking to some of the deputy officers, at this time. Yes, they need training. You've got to get training, but we got to move beyond that. We got to get their pay to where they can keep people, because people are coming in for 2 years and leaving. We don't come here just to train them and get them FTO trained and let them go to lose them to some other department. We need to raise pay. It's not just the city of Coco. The county's having to deal with the same issues because Orange County is raising rates up. So we need to make our pay scale to where we can be equal to those guys and keep good people. You need the training. There's no doubt to that. City of Coco is fantastic on all their calls. I back them up all the time. We don't have any problems. I mean, I think they're on key on everything they're doing. The body cams was a great idea. I'd like to know some more insight on what they've thought about it. I haven't never wore one, and I don't know if that's going to be in my future. But what we do, I think we got to back them. I was hoping we had more in law enforcement, but I'm 110% behind the law enforcement, no matter what they do.
Thank you. Mike Blake, Coco Police Department, extremely limited budget for training, educational courses, and advancement training. If elected, how will you change this?
I think the answer is this, sir. The intent for the city of Coco, the great city of Coco, is to have all of our employees to stay, pray, live, and have a well-paid job in the city of Coco. And that takes cooperation. Prime example, over 40+% of our current police officers have 3 years or less experience. A lot of our men and women that are being trained, as my cohorts allude to, are leaving because of higher pay. So if we want to maintain our quality officers here in our city, we must have a fair and equitable pay scale that we can compete against our neighbors so that we keep our qualified individuals. I'm a firm believer in academic excellence. If an individual wants to continue moving forward in the arena, the law enforcement arena, he or she can ascertain degrees to help promote themselves. I think the answer, I know the answer is within the department itself and also the citizens of this area and businesses that do support our local officers. I support our local officers, and businessmen and women do support them as well.
Thank you, gentlemen. That concludes the forum's questions from the public. Congratulations, public. Great job on those. Now we're going to go to interesting section of this forum, where each of the candidates will get to ask 2 questions of anyone they choose out here on the panel. And we're going to start with Mike Blake. For you, you can choose anyone. You ask a question, and then that person has 1 minute to respond. Yes, sir.
Bob Harvey. Sir, if you're elected, what are your 3 top priorities for the mayor 2020?
Thank you for asking that, Mike. The most important thing that I see with the city is we need leadership. We need stronger leadership. We need guidance for our employees, guidance for our staff, and leadership to gain citizen participation. We have very limited engagement by our city residents, and a lot of them, I actually watched one lady say when she was called on to talk in the city council, this is a while, she said, I'm afraid to come up because I'm just afraid to be out here talking because of the way I get treated. And so leadership, number 1, leadership. Citizen participation, leadership is encompassing all above. Citizen participation, listen to them, civility, respect for the citizens. I think we need to work on our economic development, our building departments. 5 years ago when we did our strategic study, that was an identified problem. It's still an identified problem today. We need to keep working on that. I think also, obviously, the abandoned buildings, the rundown buildings, the empty lots, we can clean those up, and I think we can engage our citizens to do so.
Thank you. Alan Carrott, you can now ask a question of anyone. They have 1 minute to respond.
I've heard most of what I need to know from these gentlemen. I don't have a question.
Okay. Bob Harvey, now it's your turn to ask anyone a question. They have 1 minute to respond.
Well, I'm with Mr. Cowart here. I think the citizens have asked a real good set of questions here tonight, and I'm going to run my campaign the way I want to run my campaign, and it's going to be on positive, and here's what I have to offer. I don't want to play gotcha with any of the other candidates. I don't want to ask them hard questions that try to put them on the spot. Not my goal. They're all fine gentlemen, and may the best man win, so I too am going to defer and not ask them any questions.
Thank you, sir. Henry Parrish, same question. Anyone on the panel, 1 minute, they can respond.
No, I feel the same way Bob does. And, yeah, I think we're all going to run a good race, a clean race, and we're coming right down the chute to November 3rd, and may the best man win. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Jake, same thing for you.
You know what? I don't have anything to ask these gentlemen right here, but I will make a comment that during my time, I know we talked, a lot of stuff that's been talked about up here have already been addressed by the current council, and some of that stuff is being implemented. But anyway, with that being said, I just want everyone to realize that, we were facing some tough times here with the racial unrest and then COVID-19. I applaud the council, the current council, and a lot of our community, how they stepped up to serve food. I know myself personally, I've handed out thousands of meals to residents throughout this COVID-19. And it's just unfortunately, and I wish I could have seen some of these gentlemen out there. I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus because I don't know what you had going on or what was going on in your life at the time. But we're seeing a lot of folks losing their homes, losing their jobs, being furloughed. And a lot of folks in the community have stepped up. And I just wish that, there was a lot of other folks that have come to the forefront and stepped up to help our residents. And but I'm grateful for everyone that have stepped up, and that's it.
Okay, so just to remind you, this is an opportunity to ask another person a question. If you don't have a question, we'll just move on to the next person because you will have a closing statement to make as well. Back to you, Jake. We're back at you now on your end. Do you have a question for somebody?
No, I'm good.
Okay, Henry. Bob Harvey? Alan Cowart? Any questions from Mike Blake?
Seeing my cohorts have established a policy here on president, I will adhere to it. No, I will not ask a question, but what I would like to say on a serious note, tomorrow's 9/11. It's a day that had a major impact. I am, but I'm just saying, for my kids, 9/11. And I just want to say thank you to Space Coast Daily for what they're doing here.
Thank you, sir. We very much appreciate that. Now then, we're going to go to the closing statements at this time. We have 1 minute each, starting with Mr. Blake.
First of all, I want to say thank you, Giles, and to the young man over there to your immediate right, that teenager over there, sir. I appreciate this opportunity to speak to the citizens of Coco. And the reason why I come to you as a humble servant, clearly in the Bible, it tells you over many, if you do the right thing and you protect the people and the citizen, we will increase our coverage for the people. I'm just paraphrasing. So whom much is given, much is required. And the requirement for us here as elected officials, support the citizens of Coco because they come first. Personally, I want to give a shout out to my 8th grade U.S. Social Studies because, hey, I have on my Tiger Pride shoes. Brother Cohart is also a Tiger Pride person. But in conclusion, I am the most senior member in a number of years for the city of Coco. I got a dry mouth now. I don't know why, but the thing that I would like to say is this. I like Mike. Vote I like Mike, November the 3rd. Thank you.
Mike Blake, thank you for your service over the years and your willingness to serve again. Alan Cowart, your closing statement.
Being a lifelong resident of Coco, I've seen a lot of changes. We weren't asked some questions I really would have had a chance to answer. One of them referencing our schools. Coco High, I believe, is a school, a C school now. Saturn, Cambridge, some of these schools that I opened Saturn in the 60s. We won't go there. But I see these schools, and we got to get these parents involved in the family. We got to get the parents and the kids to understand, and the teachers to not be handed a kid and say, I've had him for 5 years, now he's yours, and expect us to produce the citizen and the person that they need to be producing. I see this happening in Coco all the time. So we need to do whatever we can to help these schools, whether it's funding them, whether getting with the county, the school board, and helping them do programs or whatever, and adult ed the same way. We need to help generate a better group here and give them the knowledge that they need. And that's where it starts. I mean, we know it starts in school, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
And so if you don't get teaching there and you don't have parents that are helping you and setting boundaries and teaching these kids right from wrong, we're lost.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Alan Cowett. Bob Harvey, your closing statement.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Giles, and thank you, everyone, the coalition and all the guys working behind the scenes here. And thank you to the citizens of Coco for giving us, all of us, this opportunity to come out and talk to you tonight. This is a job interview, and I hope that you take this seriously and you will evaluate all of us and then make your decision on November 3rd. I do appreciate that. What I offer is 3 decades worth of experience at leadership, successful leadership, and formal training in leadership. I offer that to the city of Coco. I served for 33 years in the military, 4 more years as your port commissioner at Port Canaveral, and I want to serve as your mayor. I love my city. I live here. I want it to be a good, safe, secure place for all the citizens of Coco, and that's why I'm running for mayor. And please, if you have anything else you'd like to talk to me about, visit my website, Facebook page, call me up. We'll talk anytime. Thank you very much to the citizens of Coco.
Thank you, sir. Henry Parrish, closing statement, sir.
Thank you, Giles, for everything you're doing. Basically, I want to return Coco to greatness, and we were great for many decades, even before we were born, really. We have a great city. I want to make sure we're the #1 town, the #1 referred town in Florida. I want to make sure that people are moving here, playing here, or starting businesses here. As far as the platform goes, safety is job one. If we don't have safety, we don't have anything, okay? And then it's economic development with jobs, jobs, jobs. I do want to make sure that I ask for the citizens' vote, and I love Coco, and I want to do this. This is 4 pages of my highlights from 2012 to 18, okay, that everybody enjoys. I enjoy what Mike did before me, and Jake's enjoying what we did for Jake, and I just want to remind everybody, we brought in the Walmart Distribution Center with 500 jobs. We brought in Mike Urban's Toyota Nissan, $45 million development. The Wawa, we could put 5 Wawas in our city. The Flying J, which is awesome out there by 95, and the Coco Police Department will be happy. We got 3 new Dunkin' Donuts, okay? 1 was completed in Jake's term, good for us. We have a bunch of tech companies out in Grissom. And thank you very much. Don.
You were on a roll there, Henry.
Yes, sir.
Jake,
thank you.
over to you, sir. 1-minute closing statement.
First of all, I want to thank you all for putting this on today, everyone that was involved in this. But I'm running for re-election because I want to finish what we started in 2018. We went through the gates. We were running. And the thing about it is, you can see the work that we're doing in the city of Coco, that's being done in the city of Coco. I'm here because I want to be a voice for the folks that no longer had a voice in the city of Coco, or either thought that they didn't matter anymore. Because if you look throughout the city of Coco, it's happening everywhere. Sidewalks being repaired, a road on Pawnee that haven't been done in over 35 years, ADA compliance throughout the city of Coco. You got the Riverfront Park, but everybody is seeing it in their community. They're seeing stuff happen in their community, and that's all they wanted to see in the city of Coco. I listened to the citizens when I canvassed in 2018. I continue to listen to the citizens. I'm an active mayor, and you'll see me all over. I'm not all over just because I want to show my face. I'm there to support my community because I love my community. I'm a lifelong resident of the city of Coco as well. So thank you for having me, and God bless you all.
God bless all of you, gentlemen. We want to thank you very much for participating tonight. It's been wonderful. Whoever wins, we're going to have a great mayor, that's for sure. Ed Green, Coco Village, you're one of these very educated citizens here in the Coco area. What do you think?
Oh, yes, thanks.
What do you think, Ed?
I think that we have 5 people here who have put themselves out, and also the candidates that we saw earlier for council. We have people who are willing to step up and do things for our city, and that's a wonderful thing because without that, we wouldn't have any opportunity to make any improvements. It takes people dedicated, and it takes people who have the best interests of the city at heart. We may not always agree what that is, but that doesn't mean that we can't support each other in trying to find a way forward. So I'd just like to say thank you all. Thank you, Giles, for helping us put this on. And for those of you who are out there, elections are coming up. Get yourselves educated. know the issues, know the people, go out and vote.
There it is. I want to thank all of our team at Space Coast Daily, working hard to present you this forum tonight. I want to thank the Coco Village Neighborhood Coalition, and I really want to thank all these great men who are willing to serve. It's not an easy thing. It's not a high-paying job, that's for sure. It's something they want to do for their community. Stay tuned to Space Coast Daily as we get closer to the election. 54 days and counting to November 3rd. Get out the vote, and let's have the biggest turnout we've ever had here in Brevard County. And just make sure you can actually go back and look at any of these interviews here tonight, any of these statements. You can go back and look at it any time you like here at spacecoastdaily.com. Just check it out. And I want to thank all you gentlemen again, and may Godspeed to all of you. Thank you, folks. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow here on Space Coast Daily TV.